73. And let's just close it again for effect. It's pretty damn cool. So I'm on the record saying that I think unboxings are pointless drivel and a waste of everyone's time. That's why today we're opening another box. But it's another very large box, so we've got that going for us. As we said in the Fantaster unboxing video, this is about the only type of box that I'm willing to do an unboxing for on camera. And if you find any many years old unboxings on our channel, don't post them in the comments below because I will set them to private permanently and you will lose access to them. So today we're gonna open this box. This is an acoustic chamber. It's a medium-sized acoustic chamber. We still have plans to build a full anechoic or semi-anechoic chamber on site in a different room. That's going to be a large construction project, so it'll take us a little while. But for now, we needed a good solution for smaller devices. So that would include things like case fans, coolers, which just use case fans, and power supplies. Covers most of what we review except for cases, which will still be handled standard methodology, and coolers too until we mention that we've changed. So one aspect about the sound chamber that's pretty interesting is, as far as I can tell, this is previously owned by Apple, which did a semi-custom version of this. So we got a pretty special one and got a hell of a deal on it because it was basically surplus. They were getting rid of it. So we paid some freight and we got it here, and it's even on a pallet that's from Foxconn. So we've got all of the major tech companies here in one form of their waste or another, because that's about the tier we're at, Apple's garbage. And this is going to be coupled with that Fantaster back there we've shown in the past. We bought some high-end foam that, yes, foam can actually be high-end. That's a thing. Oh my God, this is heavy. And we're going to use this for isolating fans in a frame. So anyway, we're going to open this box today. I'm going to be joined by Mike and Stone from the team, who will be assisting in the unboxing. As you can see, they have standard unboxing tools. I'm not sure if Stone is still holding the stick, but he is. Okay, well, that's not a standard tool. But let's get started. Before that, this video is brought to you by Crucial and its Crucial X6 portable SSD. We use these external SSDs all over the office for rapidly transferring games and files between systems. The X6 comes in 500 gigabytes, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, and 4 terabyte capacities with USB-A or USB Type-C for the cable. For a high-speed and high-capacity external drive from Crucial, click the link in the description below. So quick note, just like with the Fantaster when we open that, we have not fully yet figured out the methodology we're going to use for the acoustic chamber. We have pretty good noise testing methodology already. We have a lot of controls like fixed distance. We have a really good meter that we understand. We have a noise floor of 25.7 dB, but this is going to get us a lot lower, and we just need to figure out how to utilize that. So one of those things is going to be frequency spectrum analysis. That's part of why we got the sound chamber, because it'll allow us to do frequency spectrum on smaller objects. So we can maintain a good distance from the object, but part of the reason we can't do cases in there is because it's not big enough. So you want a larger chamber to better allow you to take the measurements, especially if the object you're testing is large, because you need a good distance from the object, ideally. So for methodology, we're going to explain more of that as we go. We need to learn it still. Today we're basically just opening the box and taking a look at it, and then we'll study it from there. We'll publish a methodology piece. This thing is up and running now. I've been using it, so we'll have a methodology piece on that once we fully learn it. But anyway, I think we're probably ready to get started, so go tear it down. Let's go across there. I love lift gates. Okay, so the plan here is Mike has the plan. I asked Mike to help come up with the plan. Mike has a lot of factory experience.
Well, I have a plan. I'm not sure what the quality of the plan is.
So I shouldn't play up your past experience.
No, yeah, we can mention that after, once it's off, and be like, well, yeah, thank goodness I was here with all my past experience that I may or may not have.
Right.
But yeah, so I've got the pallet jack in position. I wanted to make sure we could fit it under there and use it as a tool. Right now, what's going on with the chamber is there's 4 casters that have basically penetrated the top of the pallet. So you can see this piece of wood is just gone. Andrew, if you want to come around over here, it's kind of more obvious.
Yeah, we have another piece that's just dead.
Right, and then you can see these two pieces are caved in from where the casters broke them. So we've got to get it up and out of the pallet. We don't have a forklift, we don't have a gantry crane, and we don't have a lot of other rigging tools. So the plan...
And the answer to the inevitable, why don't you just get a forklift comment, is because it is illegal to operate one in this building. So,
yes.
Just to get that out of the way now.
And expensive.
And expensive.
And we would only need it like once ever.
Yeah.
So we're going to take this wood that's on the floor here with our very high-end handsaw, and we're going to chop that into 4 different blocks of wood. We're going to lift the pallet and the chamber up. We're going to place those pieces of wood under the wheels. We're going to lower it back down. That's going to basically free this up, the pallet, this being the pallet, and we are going to break it down by with saws, mallets, pry bars, until we can kind of get all the debris out from under there. Then we will go back in with the pallet jack again, lift the chamber up off the 4 blocks, and then
move it, maybe
move the blocks out, and then lower it down on the casters.
Sounds like a good plan, honestly. So we're pretty fortunate in the fact that the wheels down there are like maybe I don't know, an inch or so off the ground.
They're actually touching right now.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, which is actually part of the problem. But I kind of cheated a little bit, and I know that if we put those pieces of wood under there, it will free the pallet up enough. But it also won't elevate the chamber up so high that it'll be overtly dangerous or crazy. Like if it does roll off those pieces of wood, it's not going to topple over because they're only 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch thick. So. Yeah,
and a couple things about the chamber. So cool thing with noise chambers, acoustic chambers like this one, is that they're high end, but it's foam and metal basically. So there's no electronics in this thing. All of the electronics that will be involved in this, like the measuring devices, that's all separate. It's in a different room. So even if this thing moves down to the ground 1/4 of an inch or whatever, I think the only thing I'm going to be upset about is maybe the concrete or the casters, but the chamber, it's not going to get damaged because it's not a machine.
So the first step is very safe. We're going to cut these pieces of wood.
So you're going to cut these pieces, and then they're going to be used...
I'm just going to cut them straight in half.
Okay.
Because we just need 4 pieces, 1 for each caster.
Quick work.
1 under each.
Okay.
That was the plan.
I'll take 2 to the other side and let me know when you're ready. Should I put my head under it?
Yes. No. Well, I actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to pry these 2 broken.
This guy laying down on the job.
Because there's no weight on these pieces of wood right now. What do you think you're better than me? What do you think? You think you got a big brain?
You think a hammer?
You big smart man using a hammer to hammer nails?
Do you want to just destroy the wood at this point? So that we can pull it out to one side?
Yeah, I mean, so I had Patrick get the saw because I was thinking we could just...
Go down it?
We could zip just to get this piece off so we don't have to pry all the nails out.
That makes sense.
And then...
I mean, if he zips both sides, then we could just pull them all out. Pull them through, right?
Well, there's the middle piece.
Oh, is there a middle beam? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just start prying boards off.
And make it free.
Yeah, make it free.
You want to cut it or pry them?
You could pry or cut, whatever you want to do. I think these boards on the outside of the casters we can probably pry.
Okay.
Now, while this might look unintelligent, we don't have a way of getting it high enough out of up in the air safely to get the pallet out from under it in one piece.
Right. I was trying to think of a more elegant solution, and then I felt like a lot of smashing began.
Saw.
your slicing dice. Are you gonna cut it over here?
Yep.
Don't run over your cable. So the plan, just hoist it up.
Yeah, we can push, because now we can push this back into the middle. If the pallet jack's not tall enough, we can,
So then hoist.
yeah, just lift it up and we'll get the blocks out of there and you're done. You just executed it a lot faster and with more gusto and
I was gonna say, should I get
Pull
this
the
under
wood
there
up.
further, or are you good?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay. Nice.
Whoa, Andrew, getting in on the action. Good, clear.
Nice.
See, that's the factory experience we were talking about earlier.
You know all the YouTubers who do like let's do a slow zoom on the glass panel of the case and do some like really creepy, weird ASMR shit?
Ooh.
Yeah, it'll take a while. This really
Can we
does.
cut? Can we cut?
Yeah,
Oh, you got it, man.
It's looking pretty,
Ooh.
looking pretty good.
Watch yourself.
It's just a smooth body in there. Someone jumps out, surprise!
Oh my God, Steve, it's you. It worked. I can hear the data. Oh wait, no wait, sorry. I can't hear the data. If you know what I mean.
So quick overview of what I know about the chamber. I know the dB reduction at different frequencies. So at different frequencies, like 100 hertz, 500 hertz, whatever, 1000 hertz, you get a different level of noise reduction. And we'll go over all those specs in our methodology piece. I know most of the numbers, don't really want to commit to them until we start testing with it. Internally, we're going to position a microphone. We have to figure out if we want to do diagonal to get more length out of it or more centered. And actually, I can see Apple or whoever the previous owner was has a custom design mount back there. We might be able to tap into that and screw some screws into it that fit the threads and potentially, wow, that's kind of funny. I don't know if that picks up on the mic. It gets a lot quieter when you put your head in there.
It definitely sounds like it, like when you're talking and you put your head in there where you're talking. Here, I'll do it. When you put your head inside of the chamber when you're talking, it
That's
doesn't
funny.
it doesn't like escape and it doesn't bounce. That's really weird.
That's cool. It works.
It works.
All right, we validated it.
Yeah.
It works. There's large foam strips around here. The foam isn't what's doing most of the heavy lifting here. This helps. It's 2 inches of foam. This is like an extra charge when they bought it originally. It didn't really change what I paid because it's surplus, but that's an extra thing they can buy. The doors and the walls are really where it starts to do stuff. I think it's a 4-inch thick inner diameter within the walls, and that is filled with a special foam. So that's doing most of the noise reduction. Then you've got, obviously, the metal itself is going to block a lot of noise. So it's blocking noise from the outside, and then inside, we're able to get a lower noise floor, which will allow us a lot more room to scale our noise measurements as we come down on quieter products. So a couple more things here. These on the sides, these are for cables. We can't run a machine in this, like a computer, because it'll get too hot, there's no ventilation. But we can run fans, we can run a power supply fan, no problem. We can run a cooler fan, no problem. It's big enough for that, just not a full computer. So this is going to be for cables for the microphone, for all the audio measuring equipment, and for the device under test. So that's all that's for. This, I think, is just a hole that goes into the bottom because I think when they designed this special version of it, their intent was the cable comes out here, cable goes back into there, and that's your testing platform. We're gonna do a quick demo of this. So we're showing it in reverse just to give you an idea of what it's doing. So there's actually a speaker, Bluetooth speaker in here right now that's playing pretty loud music. It shouldn't be picking up too much on the mic. I've got Mike over here plugging the hole for now. We'll do a better job of this later. Not that you're not doing a good job.
Doing the best job.
Thank you. But we'll plug this with foam or something later. So I've got a dB meter here. This is not official testing from us, just a quick demonstration. I'm going to be quiet for a second. We're going to check this out at the fixed distance it's at. I'll open the door, we'll get that measurement, and then I'll pull the speaker out, we'll get that measurement. So let's get a shot here. So when there's no real street noise going on, it's about 36 to 38. It's not a good time to do testing right now. Let's open it up. I'm gonna have to talk a lot louder here too. Pretty cool. So we're in the 60s.
Jeez.
60s for a quick measurement. Let's take it out here. It's even louder once it's out. $73. And let's just close it again for effect. It's pretty damn cool. Barely hear it. So yeah, obviously the testing will be done inside, not outside of the chamber like this, but wanted to figure out the quickest way I could to do a demonstration, and I think that demos it pretty well. There are a few other things we didn't mention earlier. This is a day later from the beginning of the video when we're filming this, but there's some foam in here. So this is actually isolated the top chamber from the bottom chamber, and there's foam in the middle. There's an air gap in the middle. There's more foam around these edges. So this thing's built really well. They obviously planned for it, but that is our demo with royalty-free music so that we don't get demonetized. Thanks, Ben Sound. We appreciate you so much that we silence you in the noise chamber. Okay, so that's pretty much what I know about it right now. Mike, I guess to give people perspective, Mike does a lot of the, Mike and Patrick use the noise, the sound booth we have right now the most. So Mike does it for cooler testing, Patrick uses it for cases and pre-builts. Cases and pre-builts will still be tested there. But I guess if you want to walk people through sort of how you do it right now,
yeah,
so they
so
have perspective.
In the new building, we just built an audio chamber, which there's a whole video kind of explaining why we needed to do that and the noise levels we were looking to reach. That's on the GN Extras channel. For the noise testing, I have to turn off all the AC units in the building. I have to make sure that I'm doing it at a time of day when there's not a lot of road noise. And I have to let the staff know that I'm still doing it. However, through, I've been working on a couple different coolers already in the space, and I've already tested, I think, 3 or 4 different coolers in the new audio booth. And I'm able to now capture my audio with a noise floor of 27 dB while Steve is filming and while people are still in the production room working and making noise and kind of going about their daily thing, just with the AC units off. So it's a huge improvement over the old space where I would literally have to hush everybody and say, like, you know, you guys can't walk around, you can't do this.
Yeah.
And then we were still beholden to whether...
Don't open any doors. Don't open the fridge. Don't open a can of soda.
Yeah. At a certain
you'll
point,
hear that.
Yeah, at a certain point when I first started, the fridge was coming through, and you ended up putting like a bunch of sound deadening around the fridge.
Before you were in there, I'd moved it to the other side. So we'll have a shot somewhere of the old studio, but the fridge used to be where the pantry ended up. The reason we moved it, even though it wasn't designed that way, is because when it was there, the wall didn't go all the way to the deck. It only went above the drop ceiling. So at the fridge there, you could hear it coming over the wall like it's in the room with you.
And of course, you know, you've got ducting going from room to room. You know, I believe the whole suite was 1 unit.
It was
correct?
1 unit, yeah.
Right? So you've got all that ducting that's carrying the sound, that's metal ducting, that's just, you know, reverberating everything. So it was a huge challenge, and we're already miles beyond that here, and this is just going to be another huge step forward to a whole nother level of fidelity and like resolution on what we'll be able to test. With this chamber, just being able to get such a low noise floor. So
yeah, and we'll have to figure out sort of to what extent we still need to do certain controls that we're doing. So I think general things like staff noise, so like people talking to each other at a reasonable level, people walking in the hallway or near this room, I don't think that's really going to affect this anymore at this point. So that's nice. HVAC, we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll find out.
I'm cautiously optimistic that it'll dampen it enough that you won't be able to hear it. I mean, this is pretty intense, and like just even putting our heads in while we were talking, you know, to hear how much it actually just sucks the sound up and just prevents it from getting out.
Yeah, it's cool. And I didn't mention this earlier, but I did talk about it in one of our early moving videos for this space, where we're actually working with a sound engineer on designing the full chamber we're going to do, and he's been helping consult with me on how we're going to use and test this one. So he provided, I mean, I bought them, but he provided the microphones and all the audio equipment we're going to use. And some of you, I won't share the name yet, but if you can guess it, that's fine with me. Some of you may remember his work. I'll leave it at this. When he was doing component reviews, he's retired from it now. He was way ahead of the game, especially on silence. So if you can't figure it out from that, then you haven't been in the space very long. But so he's helping us. We'll talk more about that as we move forward. But yeah, I think the plan for this, it is fairly small. So definitely no cases. We won't have the distance we need. Maybe like a small NUC would be fine. But I am confident that fans and coolers and therefore power supply fans will be no problem with it. So
Right, and by space, of course, right now we establish a 20-inch, is that right?
Yeah.
We establish a 20-inch distance from our meter, and we always measure that out to our sound source so that everything's consistent, right? Because you change the distance from the meter to the sound source, you're changing how much you're getting to the meter, right? Because sound, dissipates as it goes further.
Yeah, it's actually insane. I talked about this in the Steam Deck review, but it's insane how many people you'll see holding the meter, like physically holding it. You waver a little bit when you're just standing there holding something. So an inch of movement here and there, the numbers don't mean anything. It's like pointless.
It picks up everything. I mean, I had some bad fast food the other day, and I went in to set the meter up, and it was, I was watching the noise floor, and I heard my stomach grumble, and it would bounce all the way up to 30 decibels from our noise floor of 27, which is
stomach growling, right? Or like if you breathe too hard,
Just to go back to what I'm currently doing, now I'm able to just set the meter up in the quiet space, and then I leave. And then I go and I let it run for as long as possible so that we get an idea, right? Because there's still creaks in the building and noise that are going to happen, and we take our measurements when those aren't happening.
Yeah, so if you have enough data, you just isolate them and remove them. So
right.
That's what I did with the Steam Deck, where you see the line plotting the noise levels. Basically, I combed through it at the end, found like, oh, this spiked to 40. That's not from the Steam Deck. That's from the roof made a noise or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, we'll still do that with this too, but the space is sufficient for what we're testing with it. So I'm pretty excited about it, and the noise reduction is extreme. So
you're right, it's huge jump forward.
Yeah.
Because 27 decibels is very hard to achieve.
Yeah, we should give perspective on that. So I've said this before, but so our range right now is about 25.7 to 27 decibels on the meter, and that you could think of as similar to, I always say that similar to like a quiet suburban house with no HVAC running and no people in it moving or talking,
right,
or any noise in the house. So that's about your noise floor. When you think it's truly quiet, that's kind of what we're targeting, and that's hard to achieve. And it is a very low noise floor, but being able to go lower means that now when we're trying to establish the maximum range of a fan, if I bring a fan down to 400 RPM right now, we don't have the resolution really to see how much better is it than the next fan, because the noise floor is too high. They're going to sound the same to the meter. So that's kind of where we are. And you can improve that by closing the distance between the device, but then you start having other problems.
Right, and as a fun comparison, if you have tinnitus like I do, 27 decibels, or at 27 decibels, that tinnitus is deafening. Because it becomes very obvious that you have ringing ears when you're in a space that is only, that is that quiet. That is only 27.
So don't have you in the full noise chamber when we make it.
No, I'll lose my mind or something. Like, it won't be good.
We'll have Stone do it.
Yeah.
Send him in there with a sledgehammer.
Boy, he went to town.
Yeah.
Look at what he did.
It's
his art.
Anyway, that's the noise chamber. We're gonna get working on it, and I need to figure out all the audio equipment, the mics. The microphone we bought is amazing. It goes down to like 7 dB before the mic produces any meaningful noise. It's just electrical at that point. So this, we're gonna have probably about the best sound or noise testing setup that I'm aware of in the immediate like computer hardware YouTuber space. I'm not aware of anyone who has something better. So, and then we're gonna up it even more with the chamber. So if someone gets one of these, then I want to make sure we still have the better one.
We'll keep upping our game.
We're competitive. All right, stay tuned for more. Subscribe as always. Go to store.gamersnexus.net to help us out directly. That's what allows us to get stuff like this and the fan chamber in here. So thank you for supporting us as always, and we'll see you all next time.